What's up, guys? Gonna do a little rant on the Avic-8000NEX that I got. Tell you about a couple of things that I found out after I bought it that I wish I had known before I bought it. Let me turn on some light in here. Overall, I like the unit. I've always liked Pioneer stuff. Their interface is great. I've always liked their layout. You know, the new layout, the new graphic interface, I really like the way they got everything laid out. I like the home screen. I like the way they did everything. The satellite radio's awesome. The HD radio's awesome. The Bluetooth stuff, you know, whatever. It's Bluetooth. It's the same as everybody else. But my biggest problem is, I'd say first off, is iDatalink. And I don't know who dropped the ball on this. I don't know if it was iDatalink or Pioneer. I'm assuming Pioneer. The biggest problem I have with it, I have the iDatalink Maestro RR with the Ford harness, and it wasn't cheap. You know, it was $200 is what I paid for it, and you know, the reason I bought it was supposed to retain a lot of the OEM stuff plus additional features. It was supposed to retain, you know, this is a Ford F-150. It had sync in it before. It was supposed to retain sync. It was supposed to retain the factory Bluetooth. It was supposed to retain steering wheel controls. It was supposed to add a bunch of features like diagnostic trouble code reader, gauges, tire pressure monitor, stuff like that. And it doesn't do any of that. I have the Maestro RR hooked to this. It's a Pioneer Avic-8000NEX. I have the latest firmware, and basically all it is it's a fancy interface with steering wheel controls. I still get my steering wheel controls. They work just fine. And it interfaces with the car just fine, but I don't have sync. I don't have factory Bluetooth, which those two really I don't care about. You know, factory sync, factory Bluetooth. The head unit has built-in Bluetooth, so okay. You know, I don't really care about the factory sync, the factory Bluetooth. But the factory data is one of the reasons I bought this unit. And I wish somebody had posted a video or something so that I knew that this head unit wasn't going to work that way, because it was advertised as iDatalink compatible, data compatible, extra features, gauges, tire pressure. I know on a lot of the cars, this LCD screen up here, it showed extra information and song text and stuff like that. A lot of their interfaces, like the Mustang interface, it showed extra text up there, you know, and you had your diagnostic features, you had your gauges that you could customize, you had your tire pressures, and a lot of factory options. So from everything that I've researched, this head unit does none of that. It was advertised to do that. I mean, it's only been released for a week, but so far I have the latest iDatalink firmware, and all it does is steering wheel controls and interface with the car. No data, no nothing. You know, for steering wheel controls and an interface, I could have paid, you know, there's other interfaces out there. I could have paid $50, $60, $70 and got the same result. You know, why did I need to go with an iDatalink interface that does all this cool stuff if I wasn't going to have the cool stuff when the head unit came out. You know, if I would have known that, I probably would have gone with, to be honest with you, the Kenwood, you know, either last year's, the DNN 990 HD, or this year's DNN 9901 HD. I think even the Alpines coming out this year are going to have the iDatalink data, and they all do it. They did it last year, and it worked fine. Pioneer advertised this year, and that was really the selling point on the reason I bought this unit. And it's not a cheap unit. You know, I paid over $1,000 for this, and it doesn't do what it said. I mean, I'm hoping that they come out with a firmware update. Now, the problem is the rumors that are going around the internet from credible sources is that these head units are never gonna support the iDatalink data or the CAN bus data from the car. They're never gonna have the OEM features, and I hope that is wrong. But so far, that's the way the trend is going. You know, it's looking like, you know, it's a dead part of the system. And, you know, I have an iDatalink port on the back of the unit. I have the iDatalink serial port plugged in, but my OEM settings, they're grayed out. You know, there's nothing I can do. Even the firmware shows that, you know, when you pick this particular radio, even on iDatalink's website, this particular radio shows data. When you download the firmware, it shows non-data firmware. It just shows an interface and steering wheel controls. So that's my first biggest problem. The second biggest problem, just to mention, the only other thing I don't like, the navigation system. You know, when they showed the navigation system at CES, and I saw some videos on it, it looked pretty cool. You know, it looked like it was getting up there with the Garmin, you know, the way it was laid out. And you know what, to be all honest, it sucks. You know, it's a navigation system. It's going to get you to where you want to go. It's going to do its job, but is it going to do its job like every other nav? No. You know, it reminds me more of like a navigation system from 5 years ago, to be honest with you. The biggest gripe I have with it is the voice guidance. You know, when you go turn by turn, it's not going to tell you turn right on Northwest 7th Manor, turn right at Cocoa Park. It basically tells you in 900 feet turn right. So if you live in a busy city like I do, where there's a street, you know, every quarter block, when it says turn right, you want the nav to say turn right on 14th Street, so that you know to look up, and at 14th Street you're going to turn right. Now it just says in 500 feet turn right now. So I got to look up and see, you know, is this the street? You know, I got to look down at the screen and see what it says. I mean, it'll tell you at the top where you're supposed to turn, but it doesn't say it. Even when you're on the interstate and you need to get off in an exit, all my other navs, they would say exit at exit 63 Atlantic Boulevard. This one just says exit freeway now. You know, which is, you know, it's okay. I mean, you can get by with it. But, you know, I would rather it say exit at exit 63, in 1 mile, exit 63, so I know, you know, I can look up without having to look down at the screen and go, okay, 63. You know, turn right at Hillsborough Boulevard, turn left on 4th Street, and I don't really have to look down at the screen. I can just listen and go where I need to go. With this one, I actually have to listen and look down at the screen to see where I need to be. And, you know, to be honest with you, in 2014, come on, really? I mean, tell me what street. You know, my phone does that. My phone was $200, and you know, this head unit was over $1,000. So, you know, Pioneer, get with it. Get with the get the iDatalink thing straightened out, whether it's iDatalink or Pioneer or some kind of licensing BS. Get it straightened out. I bought the head unit. I'm sure other people bought the head unit for this reason. And get the firmware updated. You know, get the nav firmware updated. Get the Maestro firmware updated, and it's good to go. Other than that, I have no complaints. But those are two big things. I mean, I bought it so I could have a navigation system in my car. The navigation system sucks. I'd almost rather use my phone. And like I said, the big selling point over this versus the Kenwood, which they're pretty similar in price, was the iDatalink data, which now I don't have. And from what I'm hearing, I'm never going to have on this head unit. So, you know, I hope this this video gets to the right people. I hope it persuades your judgment when you go out to pick a head unit this year, whether it's a Pioneer or a Kenwood or an Alpine or an Eclipse or whatever. And these are just some of the things I wish I knew before I made my decision. You know, I watched a lot of the videos, the CES videos and this and that, and listened to a lot of the hype that the, you know, the brand reps were throwing up there, and for the value, and, you know, obviously this one was the first one to be released this year. You know, I went with the Pioneer. I usually go, to be honest with you, with a Kenwood head unit. And I went with the Pioneer because I thought, you know, to be honest, I've always liked Pioneer's interface, but I've always gone with a Kenwood because it was a little bit better unit. It had a little bit better nav. It had, to me, a little bit better sound quality. And I thought Pioneer was really going to knock it out of the park this year with their the new NEX units, and so far it's kind of a fail to me, you know. So that's what I think, guys. I mean, leave some comments and let me know what you think. You know, hopefully, like I said, hopefully Pioneer or iDatalink sees this video. Hopefully you guys out there shopping for a new head unit see this video, and, you know, we can get on these guys that, you know, it seems like they're putting out these units before they're ready to go, before the firmware is ready to go. You know, they're just trying to put them out so fast that, you know, nothing's ready, or, you know, they're advertising things that they can't get done. I don't know what the deal is, but let me know your comments, and we'll take it from there. You know, I might update this video in the future if things change.